Where's it coming from? Where is it coming from? Okay, stop. What? Where's it coming from? Okay, stop.
I think it's coming from my phone. Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Here, do me a favor. Take my phone and see how it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
But go outside, turn up the volume, and then listen to the show. Okay. And then I'll take the camera so I can show them what I'm working on.
There we go.
Hi, everybody. Today is Jason's tool show. Super excited. I have been using beading tools for, my gosh, 30 years now. And I remember when I first started, I actually borrowed tools from my dad's garage and from Sharice's dad's toolbox. She's the one who taught me how to bead. And that is kind of how I started my beading career, using any kind of tool that I could find and making wire jewelry. Oh no, I don't feel like I have good earrings on today. Maybe I'll make some during the show. I have some hoops on, so I'm going to cheat and I'm just going to hang these through my hoops. So then I feel like I'm decorated for the show. How is everybody doing today? Give me a shout out. And I'll look on my phone so that I can see any comments. We started a little early today by accident. If you know, hi Amy, hi Joanne. If you're familiar with putting a show on through a streaming service, there's a button that says go live. Now, Jason and I were putting in products for you guys, and I think it accidentally got pressed without us even knowing. I was like, oh my gosh, totally not what we wanted. So thank you if you came earlier. Thank you if you're here now. Hi, G. I decided to come in earlier because I was going to show you something that I'm working on with 3 different kinds of tools. So Shelby, if you wouldn't mind putting me down here so I can show you guys my tools. So we have different kinds of tools. When I first started, I started with the cheapest set possible. And back then, this is 25 years ago, tools were made a lot differently. Like you couldn't, like the round nose pliers were not round. They had like these little spots on them that were hard, flat areas. So my loops never came out nice. And to tell you the truth, I have not beaded with one of these sets in so long, because when I bead for pleasure, I don't pick the basic set. I use my Lindstroms, which are here in this corner. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little peeky at how the different tools work, you know, and I can tell you, oh, does it feel good? Does it not? How do the cutters work? And we're going to kind of wait for Jason. He's going to pop in and do a tool show today. But this is with a $30 set. With the $30 set, you get a chain, round, flat, and cutters. These are the go-to tools. If you have these 4 tools, you can do anything. And that is not a joke. So I'm going to see how these work. What you're looking for is the grippiness. Like when you hold it, does the wire move around? I've seen that happen, right? You don't want to have to squeeze with all your might in order to hold your wire. You want to have it almost like a dog bite feel, a soft dog, a dog that loves you, where it's just gripping it gently when they're playing, okay? So if it does move back and forth, it just means that there's spots where the wire is not being held nicely. So that's one test. I'll use the same grip with my tools. And it's still moving a little bit there. So I'm going to go back to this tool. So that is a good way to test. Yeah, it's very, very loose. It could be, I just don't want to squeeze really hard with these tools. It will dent it. So I'm going to make a basic wire wrap loop. Oh, interesting. So the wire slides when I'm trying to do a 45 to 90 degree turn. So that makes it a little bit challenging. Real live review of how these tools feel. The flat nose has a good grip, and let's test the cutter. The cutter, it doesn't cut super close, but you know what? It does the job. Jason, have you ever beaded with these tools before?
I have.
remember when we used to work with the kids?
Yeah. How
So
do
we
you?
used,
They work.
they work,
They do. I'm
and we're not
really,
using super fine wire when we work with the kids.
yeah, I'm really pleased.
So it can grab a good basic size 22 gauge, and to an extent the 24 gauge, but it works with the 22 gauge the best.
All righty.
I'm going to add in the Instagram.
So one thing that's hard with this tool is the tip of the chain nose is a little bit big. So when you do make your 90-degree angle, it is going to make it a little bit, it's going to have more wraps than you'd want, but that's okay because it does work. So my review on these tools is that I can basic wire wrap with it. It doesn't grip the wire as well. Let me try the Germans, okay? It doesn't grip the wire great, but if you've been beading for a while and you want to, oh, that's nice. That's got a really good feel. That did not move at all. So these are the German ones. So this is like a mid-range plier. Oh, very nice. It's not slipping on the round nose plier. I haven't used these German ones in a while too. They're nice. A little bit more control holding the tool. Get this cutter. So today is a great day to ask us any questions about tools that you might have. You can talk about your tools. You can ask us what we're using. And yeah, just a really good day for you to ask us anything you want about your tools. If we can't answer it, then we'll have to come back to you another time. Okay, but we will do our best. Okay, so still basic wire wrapping. Nice. No movement with these tools. Very nice and grippy. And when I say grippy, I mean that it's holding onto the wire in a way that it feels balanced in your hand. Like you don't have to worry about it slipping and dropping. You don't have to squeeze really, really hard with these tools. These are the German lines. These are made in Germany. So the tools that we have are made in different countries. We have some that are made in Pakistan and China. Then we have the ones that are made in Europe. And then we have some that are made in the United States. Now, if you guys know where your tools are made, give a shout out and let us know. So that is my review, that these are decent. And you get 4 tools for $30. I tell you what, I go to Starbucks for 3 of us and that's $30. So I feel like when you can get a set of tools that you can start a whole hobby with, so worth it, okay? Then I went on to the German ones. These are great performers. When I upgraded to German tools in my late 20s, it was such a good decision. I feel like, oh my God, the world opened up as to how I could crimp easily, squeeze things, turn loops, whatnot. Then I decided that when I moved to the Lindströms, I was making jewelry and I was so proud of everything that I made. My loops were round. I had a lot of control, large gauge wires. You can turn loops on thick gauge wire. That's another thing. If you can't turn loops well, that can be a problem. So what I would say is go ahead and practice using the tips of your tools like this and turning small loops, okay? This tool right here, this is a Zuron and it cuts up to 12 gauge, made in USA. This is such a good cutter. If you don't have a cutter like this yet, recommend it because this cutter can't cut up to 12 gauge. This cutter definitely can't. And then the metal might actually break on this one, so I'm not sure. Don't try. So check your cutter ratings whenever you're cutting because that will make a difference on what you can do. This one is really nice. It's not the best if you're going to do teeny, teeny, tiny wire wraps. As you can see, look, this tool is actually bigger than all my little wire wraps. But if you're doing tiny, tiny wire wraps, it is like using a giant hand to do it. I don't recommend that. Then I do size down to a smaller cutter. So if you like to do teeny tiny things, you might like to use a small cutter. But today I'm going to cut this 16 gauge right here. And I'm going to do a turning test of 16 gauge wire. Hi, June, with the tip of the basic set. Now, If you can turn it with this, you can probably turn memory wire. That was a pretty solid turn. Look, it made a loop. We've had tools we've seen in the past that broke the joint that can't turn it, or the tips went like this. That's not good either. So that was a pretty solid, that was a solid turn. I give you 10 points. Then I'm going to take my Lindströms, and you see, I don't know if you can tell, but these are a lot smaller at the tip. And the steel on this is like crazy, so you can turn anything, no struggle. So if you've noticed that you are struggling, you may want to try doing something with a Lindström. Now, if you're like, I don't even know what a Lindström is, come on in. You can test my tools, take it for a test drive, make something right in front of us, or we'll go in the corner and make something. But I think a lot of times it's like because you've never felt how it snaps when it cuts, definitely ask us. Now, Kara says, my nylon gel pliers seem very hard to open and close. I tried oiling the joint, but still hard to use, especially when I want to straighten wire. I can't tell you what's wrong without actually seeing it. If you want to make a quick video and send it to us, Kara, that might be easier because I can't tell if it's the joint or if it's this that's making it hard for you to hold the wire. But if you can't hold it, it could be you're not squeezing tight enough, or if it doesn't open and close, the joint itself, like, I don't know, you can tell if mine open and closes easily, you might need some oil. But send us a photo or send us a quick video via text, and we can take that question on, okay? So this is some 16 gauge wire. I did the demo with these. Jason's gonna jump in. We're gonna show you hammers today. Can I show you my necklace real quick, you guys? I'm gonna tippy toe. Ooh, can you see my two necklaces? Okay, you might have to take it back.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta go back.
The caption. Okay, I'm tippy toeing. So these are discs, and these discs we hammered with different textures. So I'm going to put the camera down in just a second so you can see it up close. I'll take them off, and I want to show you my rings today too, because I brought some different textured rings to show you what the hammer can do. The hammer is magical. Now, how many of you here have hammers? Oh, Kim, that's so awesome. Jason, can you pin Kim's comment to the top? That's awesome. So to pin it, you go here, you go to chat, and then you can pin it. Okay, so I'm going to take off this necklace, and I'm going to show you. And what I want to show you is how to clean it. Because if you don't wear your jewelry a lot, it can get dirty. Okay. And then you hit show. Oh, go back over, and you hit the word show. Click that. There. All right. Now, if you can put camera down, and I will show you what this beautiful yellow polishing cloth can do. So these are sterling silver.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, these are sterling silver. So as you can see, after the test of time and wearing them, they got very patinaed or antiqued, or you could just call it dirty. Look, check that out. Oh, I should have left half of it dirty. Okay. Now, look, just by wiping it with this yellow polishing cloth. Do you guys need this yellow polishing cloth? Jason, can you put that up just in case?
Yeah, I can.
Now, this is how I clean chain. You just take it and you just run it over. Don't pull so hard that it like distorts all your wire wraps. But if you do it like 3 or 4 times, it definitely will clean it. Can you see the difference on the right side and the left side? I think you can. So the right side is the clean side and the left side is the dirty side. Okay, I'm going to clean the other side. And that's it, like 2 or 3 times. Okay, So that is how you clean it with the yellow polishing cloth. Now, if you want to buy anything today, you can do a comment selling if you're in Facebook with us. If you're on YouTube, we are going to be having a QR code in the future that you can use to just scan and shoot, and it'll take you straight to the website. But because we don't have that activated yet, it is a new function. If you don't mind giving us just a little bit of maybe a couple weeks, we will be YouTube ready. Okay, so now this is what I wanted you to see. This is why I'm cleaning them. I wanted you to see all the textures on here. This is so much fun. And I am looking at the comments. Teresa says, how do you get the rubber cover onto the wrap and tap? You're talking about this cover, right, Teresa? This rubber cover right here. How do you get it on there? It should have come on the plier. Can you let me know if it fell off or
There's
if it
actually
didn't come with
two
it?
that come in the toolkit.
Yeah.
One that's already attached to it, and then one's already off. That's used as a replacement. I can bring it out when you guys see it.
And you want to know something funny? When it gets yucky on one side, you know what Jason does? He just turns it so that if there's holes, you can see. Don't leave that as the inner jaw part. He just rotated it until you get a good part to work on.
Keep
So you
moving.
don't have to replace the whole thing, okay? And then how do you get it on there? There's ways that we've seen where you can heat this up in hot water.
Yep.
And
Just,
that'll make it more flexy and you can slip it on.
So boil some hot water, whether on the stove or whatnot. Take it off. Wait till it gets about coffee temperature. Place it inside. Take some chopsticks and remove it from there. Please do not put your fingers inside the hot water. Take it off and then slide it on. Now, there's an advantage and a disadvantage of doing that. If you do it that way, if there's any scratches on your stainless steel and it's embedded in there, it could rust. Another way also is to dry it quickly using a swab or a Q-tip. Dry it inside, blow it out, and then slide it on. That's the way I would do it. You can also use a heating gun or a hair dryer to soften the plastic. But just be careful. There's also you can put a little bit of that plastic in the air. So just be careful if you guys are sensitive.
Do ours come with the rubber off or on?
It comes on. You get two.
On?
You get one that's on and then one in the box.
Okay. Teresa, if we sent you one without the rubber on there, can you bring it back to me when you come to Hawaii? And then that is not how you're supposed to get it. So bring it back to me and I can take care of that for you.
That's how you get it, guys.
There should be one in here and one on top.
Already done.
Yes. We will help you with that.
Yours came with rubber on.
Okay. I know, we're like, So that's the wrap and tap. Steel and plastic. And the plastic is really, you should keep that on if you can, okay? Now, what did I want to show you? Oh, Sylvia was asking. She has this inexpensive set of tools and a variety of other tools. She's not sure if she's ready for the Lindstrom, but she needs to evaluate what she needs for an upgrade. Yes, you should totally call us. We can totally do an appointment with you to help you figure out what is a great tool. Because there's nothing worse than having crappy tools. I know this. I have had everything we sell, we use, except this green line. I don't have to use them anymore. I don't use them. Have we made stuff with them? Yes, we do. But in terms of usage every day, 365, no, I use my Lindstroms. What is the rubber plastic for? It is so, let me show you. When you take a piece of wire and you are, let's say you're making a shape, if you have two metal jaws pushing against each other, it's going to squish the wire, scar the wire, scratch the wire. But by having one of them have a plastic on there, look, nothing happens to your wire. So when you're doing anything with it, especially in large gauge wire, it will not harm the wire. And we'll talk more about that when we get to the hammering portion. But this is kind of what I wanted you to see, like how hammering makes such a huge difference on textures. So Jason has some fritzes he wants to show you. So if you want to do like something super granular and tiny, if you want to do something where it looks more like pebbly and just surface textured, if you want to do something that has like teeny little hits on there, it kind of looks like the surface of the moon. So many things you can do. The Rapid Taps come in different sizes. If you don't, can you let me know if you guys own Rapid Taps, never heard of Rapid Taps, or whatnot if you're interested? Because I could just do a Rapid Tap show only and show you what you can make with it. So now would be a really great time if you could tell me, do you own Rapid Taps? Do not own Rapid Taps? Do not know how to use your Rapid Taps? Go ahead, comment away. This is your 30 seconds to get your Rapid Tap glory out. Tell me anything you want about your Rapid Taps, and if you want us to do a video on it or a class or something so that you can use all three of them. And why do we have three sizes? Because there is a teeny tiny one on the 6-stepper, no plastic jaw on these. There is 3 more sizes on the medium and 3 more sizes on the large. So this one, though, I think on some Rapid Taps, jaw number 4 and jaw number 1 are similar. Kim says, never heard of. Oh, and we probably should do, if you, Kim, please come to some of our future lives. Join us on the Ohana, and I definitely will include more Rapid Tap info. Plus, we have bunches of videos on YouTube that we use this. Okay.
Yeah, some people out there who have never heard
Oh,
of
that's awesome. It is such a handy tool. I like to do it. Okay, I'm going to move over now because I want Jason to come in. But I'm just going to do a quick demonstration on how you can make a clasp or ear wires with your Rapid Tap really quick. So you're just going to take one. This is minus the refinement, okay? This is just a fast Rapid Tap demo. So then you cut it and you can make an ear wire, right? Or let's say you want to do a pendant for a friend and you're like, I want to make a heart. Okay, so I'm going to make the beginning. And then, and when I say quickly, it's because I definitely don't want to use up the time that we have to show you all the other tools.
We're 20 minutes into the show.
Okay, and I'm going to step away. So you can make hearts. So it's kind of nice to be able to have something with these jaws. And if you want to make a ring, you can just wrap this. Bring it around your ring mandrel. And I put this as on our subscription channel on how to make a ring like so. So bangle. My very first one I would recommend is the 6-stepper for sure. We use that one a lot on our YouTube videos. All right, Jason, take it away.
All right, so Kim, Jamie does recommend the 6-step. It is a nice tool to have when you're doing most speed work or most jewelry making, turning wire and whatnot. Remember, these Rapid Taps are the preset tool, because if you're not familiar with a round nose plier, it's all graduated sizes. So from the beginner set to the
I'll introduce Jason.
jeweler set, you get their round nose pliers. Hey, everybody. All right, let's go back down. Okay. So from the beginner set to the through the premium and through the jeweler set, it's all graduated sizes. So you guys got to realize that the graduated sizes give you different sizes of round loops. When you work with a Rapid Tap, okay, and Rapid Taps are great tools because they're dedicated sizes, whether it's this 2 to 3 millimeter all the way to a 6 to 7 millimeter, they're all the same size. When you work this way, you got to be a little bit careful in the squeezing of the tools, but remember, when you're working this thin, you shouldn't be turning too much of a thicker wire. All right. What's the difference between them and a multi-size bail maker? I'm not too sure. I don't use the bail maker because I use this to make my bails. Okay, so these are all millimeter sizes, and it's on my website. I believe this one at the very end, Dressa, is a 20 mil. Okay, and with any wire shaping tool, you can conform it to make it work for you. You can make this round turn into an oval, and from the oval, you can bend angles in it. All right, so each one has a dedicated size. The only one that there's an overlap or very close to overlap is going to be between these tools. This is a slightly smaller version of this here, very slight. It's very, very slight. It isn't the same size, but it is slight. And then this is smaller than this because, of course, the graduated size. So we can get into that in more specific details by turning loops and creating software, using software to make it work. All right. Hey, Pauline, welcome, welcome. Glad everybody's here this Saturday morning, afternoon, I mean. And this is part one. We will have a part two to tools because we always get lots and lots of questions about it. If you hear a lot of banging, that's probably us banging on the table to get a particular shape. So we did prepare a small demonstration of hammering tools, okay? But we will also do a quick intro on how to clean your tools before you start to do stuff. And I'm looking for a bench block that's dirty. I'm going to move this out of the way because I don't want this beautiful gray. To make an oval, it's basically you just have to turn it. All right. They do make oval making pliers that you can do, but for the most part, you can reshape. You can make an oval by turning it onto a smaller round. So you get something big like this, and then you turn it on this, and then you get an oval. That's basically it. And that's called reshaping. We're going to clean this real quick, and we're going to be using a pack of sandpaper. Okay, I don't think I put this, I didn't have enough time to put this onto here. So if you want to order these, TLB 31D is $17 and TLB 31E is $5. What's the difference? You get all of these in a full sheet. Okay, you get all of these on a full sheet. This is on my website, on our website, on thebeadgallery.com. If you're not familiar with that, please go. It's a wonderful resource for TLB 31D, as in Delta, $17. And then TLB 31E, Echo, TLB 31E is $5. Okay, what you get in this sheet right here, this is just an essential sheet to clean tools. This is a super essential sheet if you want to go from really rough to all the way super fine. But I just want to clean this. You can see there's a little bit of wear and tear here. You can get rid of that by doing this. And this is for all my friends out there, especially Pauline, who asked me, how do I do it? I use these 5 sheets, basically these 5 sheets, to clean my bench block. I'll do a quick demo. How's that?
Cool.
Okay, but remember, if you want the ultimate cleaning one, TLB 31D. If you just want an essential, TLB 31E. This is 240, wet dry. You can do this wet dry. You can do this with oil on top. Can you pop in the tool oil? Basically, the tool oil that we have is basically like 3-in-1. And that's, Jamie, that's going to be in one of these trays over here. Here, TLA3B. TLA3B. This is 3-in-1, but with a clock oiler. What they mean by a clock oiler is you can get into the smallest cracks and crevices without making a mess. Even after you have this wonderful tool right here with this spout, you can't get as close and as efficient to add into your join of your tools without that. It'll make a big old mess.
Jason, I have a
Yeah,
question.
go
Can
ahead.
you use the sandpaper to polish your hammerheads, the
Yes.
faces,
Uh-huh.
your mandrels,
Only if it's solid stainless steel.
and even like your tools?
Yes, and if it's
Wow.
solid
Okay.
stainless, it's solid carbon steel. If it's a solid alloy of
Mhm.
steel, then you can use the sandpaper to do it. If you do not know your tool is solid stainless, like so, this is a nickel plate. Oh, where'd my nickel plate go? My basic one. The basic hammer that we
Mhm.
have in the store is nickel plated. It's a good $21 hammer, but
I'll find it for you.
okay, it's out in the front. Okay, getting back to that. This is solid. We're gonna take some 240, and you can do a circular motion, clockwise or counterclockwise. It's up to you. Left or right-handed, doesn't matter. Up or down. If you have a bench grinder and you know how to take this apart and add this onto your bench, then go for it. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking off a layer of metal. Okay. If you have a good hand and you can clean this well, can you use it on sheet metal? Describe your sheet metal. Tell me your sheet metal, and I can say yes or no.
What do you mean, sanding sheet metal?
I have right here. Can you use it on sheet metal? So the sheet metal, please describe your type of sheet metal. And then I can say yes or no. But yes, you can use this on ferrous and non-ferrous metals. Ferrous or non-ferrous metals. Rusting or not rusting metals. You can use it on all. Remember, this is wet dry. Wet dry is made out of silicone carbide. Okay, that's 2 layers so far. It feels pretty good. I'm just going to do a quick demo on it, okay? But look at that. This is only after 2. And look how nice that looks.
Wow.
So that's after 2. What I'm doing, you guys, is I'm removing the scratches that are as deep as the 240 grit first, then a 320 grit, and then I'm going to do 400 next. So I'm just going to clean this off just to get some residue off. Thank you, Jamie, for grabbing that. I was going to use my hands, but then I get all the tools dirty, right? If you are very sensitive to oil, please wear gloves. Please wear gloves when you do this. I repeat that again. Please use gloves if you are sensitive to petroleum-based products. Okay?
What is the benefit of having a polished tool?
You don't. The benefit is you don't transfer the rust or anything that you have onto your pieces. Okay? You don't have to clean it as much after the fact, after you create your beautiful pieces. And look at that. This is after 400. That's after 400. What do you think, James, from your vantage point? Just stay over there.
Oh my God.
That's
It
400.
looks so nice.
And then after that, I'm going to do the 6. And after 6, you really don't have to go that far, but some of the pieces that we do in the shop, we really like a good finish, because remember, you're going to be transferring. You're going to be transferring this particular surface onto your metal.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be...
So while you're scrubbing away, I'm going to talk about this hammer. So this is not a steel hammer. This is our basic chasing hammer. We sold this for years, but it has a zinc plating on it to make it shiny. But as you can see, it started to rust. But if you start trying to take out any of the scratches or the dents or the what do you call this? What happens at chipping?
Mhm.
It's going to take off the zinc coating, and you definitely don't want to do that. So that is one that you cannot polish. Now, if you have a Fritz hammer that's stainless steel on the head, you will be able to polish that.
I've done it before. And you can only do that with this set. just to let you know, you can't do it with the basic set. You have to go all the way to 3,000 and more.
Wow. Okay.
I've done it from here, from 180 to 3,000, and personally, I went actually to 6,000 and 8,000.
So if you have a ring mandrel, you guys, a ring mandrel is one of the best things that you should clean like this, because the ring mandrel, when you touch it so much with your hands. If you live somewhere that you use moisturizer or you touch anywhere on your body and you have a slight bit of oil on your hands, you transfer that to any of your steel tools, the tool heads, you transfer that to your mandrels, that will attract rust. Now that rust, once it builds, it's like a little disease or a germ. It spreads and it just gets faster and faster. So you want to do your best not to let your tools get rusty. So what that entails is you can wipe it, just the tool, just the metal part. If it is steel, you can wipe it off with like a alcohol pad to remove your natural oils, remove your moisturizer so it does not attract rust. But you'll notice a difference when you work on a smooth surface. There is no struggle, zero struggle. Making a ring or a bangle on something rusty, the metal doesn't move. The metal sticks to the yucky surface. And all I can say is it sucks, man. It makes it so hard. Even if you are a good jewelry maker, it's a struggle. And if you're a beginner, it's worse. It makes it so that you're just going to be more frustrated. So take care of your tools and clean them. You don't have to clean them every week, every month. We're talking like maybe not even every year, if you just make sure there's some kind of maintenance.
Yep, maintenance. Good word. Okay, so that is TLB 31E, your very basic sheet. Okay, then there's this big boy over here, which is TLB 31D, which is the 10-piece full sheets. All right, and they're the big sheets. Now we have something really nice to work on, something that everybody can use. And if you're really not into this oil being on here, you can remove it with some alcohol. Okay, you don't have to. Just clean it up. Any questions so far?
Mm-mm.
All right. How's that? Okay, ready to go. So that was that cleaning, and it feels nice. Remember, you're going to transfer everything that you hammer onto here onto the backside plate of your sheet metal. And the sheet metal question asked before was, can you do this on sheet metal? Yes, you can use all this paper on sheet metal. What's going to happen is from the course, you're going to have this very, very nice matte finish, all the way to a buffed finish up to the 1200. Okay.
Pauline says, wow, that looks fantastic.
Okay, so this feels really good. Tell me what this feels like. Does it feel like a paint job?
Oh my God, it's so smooth.
So it's smooth. That's what we want, because you don't want to transfer the scratches onto the backside, because we're going to be hammering some beautiful discs like so. So we do have some discs available for sale today. And we have copper, we have brass, we have bronze. We have also some other metal alloys. Okay, so we have some very cool brass ones. This is M98. If you guys want to start out with this is 2 pieces for $5. M98. M98.
You might have to move the super shiny thing. Thank you.
Everything's shiny now. M98 is a round brass disc that I'm going to hammer. Or I can do this one. This is M970. 870. This is 5 pieces of some brass for $8, and these are thicker. These are much thicker. These are about 20 gauge, I believe. They feel really thick. They got some weight to it. M870. These are wonderful to hammer on. But if your things are into copper, I have a lot of friends who love copper. This is going to be M463. Beautiful, beautiful warm tone. All of these, you guys, you can oxidize. I didn't talk about oxidizing because it's going to be a whole nother ball game for that one. So we can talk about oxidizing in tool number 2 next week. Okay. What Jamie's talking about in the texturing is much like this. This is M451, M451, and these are ovals. These are ovals. Okay, M451, M451. These are 20 by 15s.
Those are cute. You can make it look like a pineapple.
Yep, just like. These are wonderful to start out with. We textured it, we hole punched it. Okay, and then finally, in some of our other fun things, this is M452, 452, and it's a flower shape.
Oh my God. And these all make the cutest buttons.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Everything
guys
you can make into
have,
buttons.
can you give me a thumbs up if you own hole punch, a metal hole punch? Please give me a thumbs up if you guys own a metal hole punch, and that will give us an idea of how to go forward with the next demo.
And for all those who love their Lindströms, I'm just gonna digress. This is what I'm doing to some of my Lindströms right now. I'm soaking them in oil. How's that? This is a 3-in-1 oil, and I'm using that tool oil that Pauline picked up with a clock oiler, and I soak it in here so that all Lindströms will rust. If you don't have one, you live in the driest place on earth. We live in a medium wet place on earth, and this is how I keep them happy. I add 1 drop of tool oil in the joint once a month, and then once a year I will soak them in oil, and then I clean them. If that's not your thing, no worries. No worries at all. This is a cool little thing that I want to show you guys. This is M1492, and this is Thai silver, just recently found. Okay, and this is M1492. M1492 is going to be this very cool link, and this link is a little over 1/2 inch. It is 4, 5, 6. That's 7/16, right around there. About 10 millimeters, maybe 11.
That is a super cool piece.
Yeah.
So old. I mean, we've had that in stock for over 10, 15 years.
You can texture this. You can do a lot of things that I'm going to show you right now. But this is M1492. This is Thai silver.
And of all of the pieces we're showing you today, I think that we only put in, 1 or 2 sterling silver pieces. The rest are all base metal. So if you do like sterling, that is an old silver, Thai silver. It's nice. It has a very antique feel. I wonder if we can hold it so it's not so shiny, and you can see how it has like that.
Got it.
That really nice.
Hey, Jim, for
soft
this one, you put in this one. Where'd the paper? The paper, the polishing paper, the sandpaper. Can you put in? I need to put the quantities in for that. I didn't have enough time.
Oh, okay. I'll do it.
It went somewhere. Here. TLB 31E. Can you put 10?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So let's hammer some stuff. What do you think? Okay. I'm going to hammer this one. While Jamie's doing that, this is some of the this is bronze. I like bronze because bronze doesn't what doesn't it do? It doesn't antique as much as brass does, but it still gives you that warm yellow color, much like kind of a 14 to 12 karat gold. It's really pretty. I'm going to angle this so you guys can see better. Let's see. Yeah. The easiest way to do this, you guys, is to use your chasing hammer. Okay. In beading, we use the chasing hammer to emboss, and we use it to planish. Okay. If these are new words to you, it's all right. Okay. In metalsmithing, planishing hammers like these is this right here. This traditionally was used to catch and chase a die pin, so you can do distinct markings onto metal as well as move metal around. We in the beginning community turned this into a versatile tool of embossing and planishing at the same time, without having to do much of the chasing. All right, so that's a planishing hammer. Okay, that's the planishing hammer. That's the planishing hammer. That's the planishing hammer. And that's a chasing hammer that we're going to use to planish and emboss. These two are the same head shape. Okay, so they are called chasing hammers. This is solid stainless. This is 420 stainless. This I actually ground out once already to get a nice finish on it. Did I do the front? I did do the front too.
Which one is that? Is that
This is the number 17.
Number 17.
MKR. I'm not too sure. Yeah, that's it.
The deluxe sounds nice.
So this is a number 17. We love this one. This one is made by Bill Fritz, designed by Bill Fritz, and overseen by Jordan and family. This is our basic chasing hammer. Okay, this is our basic chasing hammer. I don't know if I put it on here, but we do have it on the website. I think it's like $20 to $1. But let's talk about this one. I'm going to use it to emboss. Okay, what I'm embossing is M216. M216. Okay, M216 is a bronze disc, and I'm just going to use the embossing head to move the metal, and I'm going to do the center. I'm just going to do the center so we can bow it out. This technique moves the metal from the inside out, okay, creating this doming pattern. There's a lot of different ways you can change this into a whole different shape, okay? But I have easier ways to do that rather than sitting here for 15 minutes creating some shape. We're going to be using this handy dandy wood dapping die. That's this. Okay, this is TLA 24A, TLA 24A. And if I'm talking too fast, watch the replay. Okay, watch the replay. All right. I'm using the bronze because it's tough and hard. And I want to do something that's different that not a lot of people like to do with. So let's just create some texture on here. Don't worry about the doming because I can turn this into a dish if I hammered it enough. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hammer this out, creating this dapped disc, okay? This dapped disc that looks like this, okay? All right, I don't know what I'm going to make, so I'm not going to punch holes in it yet. I'll do that later, okay? I'm going to work on the edges now. So as we're hammering this, let's take some questions if we have any questions. I got about 15 more minutes before I move on from the store. That wooden disc or that wooden dapping die that you see that I'm going to use, we've used the same tapping forever, yeah?
I think like 20 plus years.
20 plus years.
It is the best $10 you can spend.
That is correct. Okay, so I made this very cool, very similar to what Jamie's wearing today. We're just using one hammer, just like this.
Super fun. If you guys
Yeah.
want to hammer, but you're a little bit afraid to, if you get the surprise and you want to do it together in a Zoom, we sure can. We definitely can.
Okay, look at that. That is a very fun, and it looks like yellow gold.
That's nice.
It looks like 12 karat gold.
I like it.
It really does. It looks different than brass. That's why I like the bronze a lot. Now, I'm going to turn this into a necklace. So now I know what I'm going to make it into. I'm going to turn it into a pendant. So I'm going to use a hole punching tool. We have 4 types of hole punching tools. Actually, we have two types of hole punching tools with different sizes. I should be more specific. Okay. All right. So this is our hand punches. So these hand punches have different sizes. Each one is one goes from small, medium, and large. Okay. And this is going to be TLB. I believe so. I have to go look it up. This is TLB 1A for the 1.25. That's this one right here. TLB 1B is the 1.5 millimeter. And then TLB 1C is the 1.8 millimeter. Okay. Those 3 tools will give you 3 different hole sizes. Okay. They're $18 each. They're wonderful. They work. They're really easy to use. What you get here is ease of use, replaceable heads without any problems. You just unscrew it, punch in a new head, a new punch. I get a lot of this. Can I use that head if I replace it with something else? No, because each one is dedicated. There's a dedicated hole punch size: 1.25, 1.5, and 1.8. You see that hole right there? That extruding hole, that's where it punches out. If it's too big or too small, it's going to either damage the punch hole or it's going to damage the piece. So, question answered. All right. So I'm going to punch a 1.5, which is the middle size, in this one because I don't know what I'm going to make. I don't know what I'm going to connect to it right now. So there's a couple ways to do this. You're going to mark where you want it to punch and put a hole right there. Okay. Now, if I didn't want to use this and I only had this, which is my first ever hole punch, we carried this one. This is a 2-hole punch. Okay. And this one is also life-changing. When we had this one, we could do so much more to it. It is, I'm trying to find the number. The hole punch is going to be in here somewhere. And I can't find it. So I will find it.
Which one? Twist hole?
Yeah.
Got it.
Found it? Okay. So this one has 2 different sizes. A 1/16 hole and a 3/32. Okay.
A lot of people ask us, like, what's the difference between that and, oh, sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead.
And the handheld. And I find that if you are slightly weaker in the hand and you can't squeeze really, really hard, or you don't want to break the tips in the handheld punch, the twist hole punch is easier because you don't need strength.
There you go. There you go. I'm going to punch a hole, the 1.5 with this, just like this. There's a marking right there. Let's just get close. Okay. And then I'm going to punch a hole right through there. Like so. Okay. Done. Release. When you pull this off, just rock and roll it out just like that. Okay. And there it is. In the same case, you can do the same thing for this. You can place it in there, and then you can come right down on it, just like this. What's the difference? I get a lot of comments that this produces a cleaner hole, okay, on thicker metals. Listen to what I'm saying. It produces a cleaner hole on thicker metals. All right? You guys can translate that into how you want to purchase tools. This can handle a lot thicker items. These can generate quicker, easier results. Okay? This one takes a little bit of practice to get it right, but the outcome is pretty extraordinary, I would say. It looks like you're using a machine to punch it out. Okay? So we have this. The twist is a lot more expensive, but it's made out of solid aluminum and steel. Aluminum and steel. Okay. Aluminum here, steel here. Okay, we can connect this onto the thing. If you like this look, where it's slightly domed, just slightly domed, leave it alone. If you want a bigger curve, guess what? We're going to use this. 1.5 is what I used. Embossing hammer is what I used. Okay, and we're going to dome that. We're going to use one of the wooden dies and our nylon hammer. Another good bench tool to have. The nylon hammer is TLB. I can't remember the number. I try to remember all the numbers, but I'm not getting that. I'm not getting any better here. Okay, we're going to tap in the middle and work our way around. Okay, got that? Tap in the middle and work my way around. Okay, create a dome and then finish the dome. Okay, create the dome. I'm going to start moving now. So if you're hearing this, what did you call that? ASMR? What is it?
Oh,
What is that thing?
I don't think this is ASMR.
I have no idea. I don't keep that regularly. Okay, and then now I have a dome piece. So this is even more dome than the first one. You can tell by the reflection. Okay, then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create even more of a dome. And I think I'll stop right here. That might be too much. I think I'll stop right here.
I always love the domed pieces versus the flat. I feel like it looks so classy, so beautiful.
What's nice about using wooden dies is that it doesn't damage the surface that you just did. Okay, you can use a metal die, that's fine. Okay, just be careful because it could change your surface texture. Because look how nice that is. Look at that. That looks like yellow gold from here.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
And then you could just put a jump ring and make earrings.
Jump ring, make an earring. Jump ring, make a necklace. Put a jump ring, and then wire wrap onto that jump ring a gemstone of your choice. And in this case, it's aquamarine. You know?
Okay, so Jason and I are spending a lot of time showing you guys these techniques because we want to do projects where we show you how to fuse a ring that can sit perfectly around a domed disc, how to do different kinds of texturing, how to take cut metal and file it and then hammer it. And we want to take all of you on this journey. So our thought is, okay, let's go over tools, let's show you all the basics, and we can go forward. Now, if you guys could please help us out, comment. Is this something you want to do? Is this something you have the tools to do? Because as teachers, and we're doing it online, and we can't see your expressions or your faces, we don't know if you have the supplies, if you want to do this with us. So please give us some comments and any kind of feedback. If these are things you want us to make videos for, you want to do together in lives.
Okay, I'm gonna go go over a few more other items that Jamie and Connie put together so nicely for us this week. This is a 1-inch brass piece that we have. This is M308. M308. This one has a tab on the top. So if you needed a little bit more, needed more space to make a loop, you can put it right on there. You can punch a hole right on there. And this one's thicker. Okay, this is brass. This is brass, not bronze. Okay, these are $3. This is heavy stamping material with great stuff. Now we're going to go over some other alloys right here. These are silver tone alloys that we have. I have 5 different types of it. This one is a large rectangle. Okay, this is C372. C372. This is $4, and this is a large rectangle, and it's 1 5/8 inch long. Holes are already produced on here, so you can either stamp on this or you can hammer and embellish it any which way you want. Okay.
That's cool, because if you want to do a purse charm and you want to just make it look not just like a piece of metal, but you want to hang a bead at the bottom and put a clip at the top, those are cool.
Yep.
Super cool.
Now this is the silver tone dog bone for all our animal lovers out there.
That you can stamp
This
on.
is C258. C258. This is $5. It's 1.5 inches long. Put that in my hand so you can see. Very cool, very fun. Silver tone, non-oxidizing. It's good stuff. Okay, this is a fun one. This is a flower-shaped scalloped washer. This is C320. C320. These are $5. And it comes in a pair. Okay, again, same alloyed metal, silver tone. Then finally, this is, oh, not finally, but 2 more. C297. C297. And that's $5 as well. And that's cool. These washers are very, very cool. I like this personally. This is the offset round. This is C338. C338. These are $5. And you can do some fun texturing with this.
So again, the one, yeah, that one's cool. So it doesn't say sterling because these are not silver.
They are not silver. This is
mixed alloy.
Yep.
And so you can texture it. But you know what's really nice is that you don't have to worry about it like turning color. It pretty much stayed that color. A lot of the pieces we're showing you today are not online. They've been in our stock for, most of these over 7 to 15 years. What you're looking at is old stuff.
Yeah, watch the replay. Order it from this show.
Yeah, it is. Most of it is not on the website in terms of the blanks.
Yeah, follow Shirley's comments right there. Sold space C320 or C338, and then how many pieces you'd like. Right?
Kara said, would love a Zoom session with these tools. And you know what? That's a great idea. We could just do a hammer and bench block Zoom, right? What can you do with a hammer? And another one could be a wrap and tap Zoom. Miss Kara, please text me after with these ideas. I can't run away right now to get my phone and put my notes down, but I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Some focus Zooms.
So it's 3 p.m. You know what that means.
I'll put you on so you can say goodbye.
Yeah, I have to say goodbye to you all.
I will stay here, and of all the tools that Jason showed, I will answer questions. I can put the numbers up if there's something you're interested in, and I will just pop
We'll go back to a lot of the other tools in part 2.
Yes.
Okay.
There's so much we want to show you in the 1 hour.
Yep.
And we also want to give you an explanation so you know how to use all of these things. Oh my God. I wish I could show you what happened here. It looks like the area exploded. That's what happens with tools. Metal, wire, hammers. I will let Jason know you guys said thank you. He does have such vast knowledge. I we have at least, oh my God, 50, 100 products that we could just show you and projects to do with it. Oh, have a good haircut, Kara. Thank you very much. If there's anybody, if you guys want to ask about hammers, because that is something that I think is really important. If you're like, what's the difference between like a $20 hammer and like a $50 hammer? Ask me. If there's a question you have about why are there so many brands of wrapping taps or what looks like wrapping taps on the internet and how are you supposed to know which ones to get? Or what's the difference between a nylon hammer and a plastic hammer? Because that sounds the same, but they're not. Because nylon and plastic hammers are not the same. One definitely is more brittle, and one is more malleable. So when you hit your metals, it makes a difference. You might want to ask, how long will these last? Well, I've had my set over 20 years because you can just change the little pin in here. So I know there must be questions and maybe you don't have them right now because it's kind of overwhelming to think. And maybe you're the kind of person like me who just needs to make one project. And once you make one thing, it's so exciting. One of my favorite things to do is make rings. And I'm super lucky because Jason or Anna sometimes will fuse these silver rings, and then all we get to do is hit it. And I think that's so much fun. So if that's something you think you're interested in, where you want to just hammer and you don't want to fuse the ring, you just want the hammering part, you still won't need a hammer and you still won't need a ring mandrel. But if you don't mind, investing in some tools that could really take your creativity to the next level, we can do some stuff together. So comment. I'm here live for you right now with any questions you might have, including the ones I mentioned, or if there's things you want to make together and I can show you a quick sample or a demonstration, I would love to. So why would you need a hole punch? If you have metals and you want to do like a wide bracelet, when you are hole punching it, I'll be right back. So let me change the screen so I can show you what I mean. If you are hole punching something and you want it to be more stable, then punching two holes is a really good idea. Then it has a balance and it sits as it has the two runners, basically that hold it more steady. So sometimes a one hole project is not ideal. So it's really nice to be able to do it the way you want to. I'm going to find that 6-step wrap and tap for you right now. Here we go. I'll leave that up while we're just chit-chatting. If it doesn't work, let me know, Kim, because I hope I didn't write the wrong number. So another thing that's really cool is making your own charms. I made this bracelet 20 years ago. I love showing you guys samples of old stuff. So if you guys want to do something like this together, we can. This is one of the things that I saw recently on the internet that is a charm bracelet, but it's not with hand stamped charms. See, these have stars. It's just textured charms. That bracelet, I think, is $600. And I was like, it's probably because of the labor. But I was like, if you guys want to make these, we should. We should make these super cute bracelets. Fusing metals. Do you need a kiln or just a torch? You just need a torch if you want to fuse. And we're really lucky. Our friend Iris Sandcooler is somebody that we met about 25 years ago, and she taught fusing to us and gave us the permission to reteach her fusing techniques that she learned. She was a San Francisco art student that she and her teacher came up with the technique of fusing as a technique you could teach to jewelry makers. And so with her blessing, we've been teaching it for another 20 years. We sent one of our girls up to get, there was no licensing of it, but she learned how to do it. And I don't know, I'm just trying to show you my bracelet while I tell you the story of fusing. The reason I'm talking about fusing is Jason is going to be doing a session for that for our paid subscription, Bead Circle. So if you want to join in, it's only $10 a month. And then the next project he's going to do for that is a fusing class with a live show as well that we can ask him about fusing. So that's going to be on Zoom. But yeah, if you want to make something like this, we can totally do a project. We have all the different size sterling components. And why I love sterling is even though this thing is super old, just to bring it back to life, just takes a few little pitches, little swipes. That's it. So cute, right? Okay. So what else can you do with discs? Oh, I do like this one. You can use it as links. So this one has my name on it, Jamie. So you can make identification if you want. If you want to move down into the stamping. I love texturing metals though, and I think that that part is so pleasing. I don't know if you guys remember, when I was in college, there was a show called, do you remember the show Silk Stockings? And in one of the episodes, so long ago, this is when we had VCRs. My mom used to tape that show for me. She wore a necklace just like it was. I'm not sure where my children went. Hold on one second. It was this. And I remember going, oh my gosh. So I made it. And then what I love about it is because it is not one hole at the top, but two holes, it sits so balanced on the neck and it looks so good. Okay, hang on one second, Miss Kim. I'm going to go and problem solve that for you. Well, you guys can just admire what I have on the screen. So this is a 6-step wrap and tap. And let me see if I can find why it's being silly. I gave you TLB21A. Yeah, if it's not coming up, Kim, I will double check into this for you after the show. I apologize why. A lot of times we end up just fighting with technology to the point where I'm sure you feel just as frustrated as we do, and I apologize for that. But unfortunately, that one is set to work, and that it's not, I'll have to figure it out after. Okay. So let me see if there's any last questions. And switch this out. And Gail, if you have any more questions, web chat us or reach out, request@thebeadgallery.com so I can give you more details about that. And I think that will be it. Let me put my necklace back on. So this would be a fun project if you guys want to make this. So easy. My favorite though is really making buttons. I love the unique look of hammering out a button. And if that is not something we've done together yet, we definitely should. Let me turn off that wrap and tap plier. So I can see, and I love it when you have stackable necklaces in different sizes. I like when the longest necklace is the largest and then it goes down to the smallest. So I'll put it on. And turn that off. It says, if Jason hadn't used a chasing hammer to texture before putting into dome, would it texture when he domed? No. And the reason that is because what he was doming with was wood, and wood is softer than metal. So you can kind of think about it like the hardest item is the item that wins. So if you take a sterling silver charm and you hit it on a steel bench, and the steel bench is all yucky and it's got like pit marks and it's got rust, well, that is going to transfer to your charm, not the other way around, okay? The hardest metal wins. So also, if you use your chasing hammer and you're using a hammer that has like a lot of pit marks, you can transfer that to your copper piece. So that again, not so good. So you want to always think about what surfaces are touching each other and what you need to do to protect your metal. Because the end result is for all your labor and all your time, you want to have something that you're proud of and that's beautiful, not scratched up and not pit marked, right? So this is wood, is softer than the metal. So no, this is not going to make much of a dent, metaphorically and literally and physically, on your item. Another thing that you can do that's fun is if you want to order some of the copper discs that are cheaper, you can use it as a sampler. So let's say you get a hammer and you're like, oh, we have two that are my favorite, the waffle and the silk. So if you guys want me to come back and do something just with the waffle and silk, we can. But if you kit your pieces, that's one thing you can do is hammer your piece. Let me put my place there. Hammer your piece, and then we put the number, you stamp the number of the hammer in here. So if you're like, I really, really like that texture, you can recreate it by saying, okay, this one was done with hammer number 14. 14, and then it's on there. And that's a really neat way of organizing your supplies, organizing your mind. So if you're like, that's so awesome, I'm doing it again. 5 years later, trust me, I did not know this was hammer number 5, right? The other thing is when you have a sampler like this, and then I have a ring and I'm like, oh, that is so cute. I love that texture on there. You can shop through all your textures and then you can remake it. Because the frets line has over, I don't know, 30, 40 hammers, it does get kind of confusing. In the beginning, you only actually need one hammer. I think this one is the student one. So if you're interested in that, let me put that up. So if you don't own any hammer and you want one, I the only reason I'm not excited about this hammer anymore is because I've seen some of our customers break it, meaning they attack their metal with such a vigor that they cracked the tin coating off, the zinc coating off. And I was like, boy, what are you making? They're making like 10 gauge bangles, okay? Now 10 gauge bangle is pretty darn thick. So if that's where you want to go and you're like, I'm going to make bangles, maybe you don't, I hate to say waste, but you don't want to waste your money on a hammer that can't take that kind of pressure. It does not perform well under that kind of pressure. At that point, you definitely want to look into getting a steel hammer, a completely steel hammer, which this is not. I can't find this hammer. I'm so sorry. But if you are interested in this hammer, let me know and I can get you a price. I'm pretty darn sure this is less than $25. And if you want to work your way up to a frets, this is my number 17, my favorite that I have lived and used so many years. This is $76. This is the ultimate hammer. Like, it's so good that I would rather have this hammer than go out to dinner. But now that I have this hammer and I've had it for maybe like 20 years, I can say that it's definitely worth it. So if you've been putting off buying your tools, it's going to hinder you in what you can do because you definitely need tools to make stuff. So if you need a plan of like what tool to get first so you can start your jewelry making hobby or your career, your side hustle, and you don't know what to do, go to our website, go into the web chat and set up a time so that if you want advice, I will give you tons of advice if you're just looking to start and you're the kind of person that wants to spend once and get quality tools, or you're not too sure, so you want to spend as little as possible, but you want to maximize what you can make. That's what we're here for. That is all we're here for, is to teach you how to bead and to do it in a way that you're comfortable so that you can be creative. Beading, making jewelry, making anything is so empowering. And the more we are empowered, the more you feel confident and the more your creative abilities, how you can solve problems increases, the better the world is for all of us. So I'm a bit selfish. I'm not doing this for just you. I'm doing this for me so that my future is filled with people that are creative and that are awesome, right? So let me help you if I can. Does that hammer work okay if basic wire hardening and making paddles? This hammer will last you We, oh my God, we've been using these hammers for years. But again, if you are that person who wants to make a really, really thick bangle and you want to hammer it really, really flat, this is not the hammer for you. If you want to make a paddle, heck yeah, this hammer's so old and rusty and chipped, and I can still make something good with it. So yeah, since you're still hanging out with me, let me do it real quick. Now this is a really, really good bench block. It comes with two inserts, right? So it comes with this with a metal and this with a plastic. So if you're maybe making ear wires and you're kind of thinking, oh, I don't really want to hit my ear wires on metal, you want to do it with plastic and plastic, then yeah, for sure, you can take that one out and put it in. So I'm just going to get a piece of wire real quick, my friend, and I'm going to hit it. Oh, let me show you something I made recently. So I designed this new bracelet that you can also wear as a necklace. And I made these pieces so that it hooks into the bracelet. And then this hooks onto an extra chain. And now you can make a necklace, okay? This is not its final version. I think I have to make this longer, touch this, and kick out. And that way it won't fall out because you don't want to lose all your work, right? But this is like prototype number 1. So you want to hold it steady. And you see when I held it, it lifted off the bench block. That's a no-no. You want your piece to make contact with the bench block when you're hitting it, okay? You never want to be like tiddlywinks where you're pushing it down and it lifts in the air and hitting it. No. Full contact with the bench block. So what does that mean? Pay attention. Don't just hit it. Kind of go, oh, it's not in contact. Then flip it over. Now, if you've never hammered before, I'm going to give you different advice in what I'm doing. Because I can visually see what I'm doing, and I can tell the parts that I'm missing, the parts that need to be hit more. But in the beginning, if you can't recognize that, then it's good to count. So then if you hit one area 25 times, hit the other area 25 times, and then move around. If you find that you can't move your hammer, and you only like to hit here, then move the piece. Don't move the hammer. It just depends on what your style is. Yes, if you hit your finger, it will hurt. Somebody asked me that once. I was like, yes, because we have fingers and they have sensation. So if you can see, I moved my hand out of the way for the last couple, and I just want to make sure that the whole thing is flat. How can you tell you hit it flat? Look for shadow. When you flash it in light, if you hit it unevenly, you'll see darker spots because that's where the shadow is going to be. So if you do see those darker spots and areas, then you know that you did not hit it smoothly and flat. But I tell you what, in the beginning, it kind of doesn't matter, right? You're building your skill set. So if you hit it unevenly, take the ball side and hit the whole thing. Now, you've hidden any flaws. But look at that. It kind of looks still, not kind of, you've textured it. So that's really cool too. So you don't be afraid. Work with copper. Copper is the best metal to me to work with in the beginning because it feels like sterling. It's like it feels enough like sterling that you can take the same skill set with copper and then move into the precious metals when you want to make jewelry. All right. Hope that helped. I know that I wanted to show you more things today, and we'll be back in a week. We have coming up a round bead show. Put this in your calendars at the 30th end of the month. It's all new rounds, and so that you can get as many rounds as you want, I'm going to be splitting the strands for that show. That's going to be awesome. And then I have a mala showcase coming up this month also. Definitely don't miss that. I am making samples of pieces that have intentions set per the gemstones. So like I'm making one for like to help with decluttering. And it's like got the policeman lapis blue in there for some discipline, and it has a softening of, I think, the blue lace agate. So each set of gems is to go with a specific feeling and an intention. That show is going to be awesome. I'm actually trying to write a book, you guys. I finally said, okay, I want to put something out there that I'm proud of, that I can come back and look at. So I'm trying to write a book on how to make your own mala. We'll see how that is. It might be a PDF. It might be like 10 different videos that, we release. I have no idea, but it's happening. And I've been spending some time on how to do a layout, starting with how to set an intention, how to pick your beads, how to pick how many beads that you want it, so incorporating a little bit of numerology. And then in terms of color therapy, it's added in there. Oh, it started off just as like one paragraph that I was trying to put out there for you guys for the Mala show. And it just kept going and going. And finally I was like, there's too much information. How am I going to share this all? Can I show you this one bracelet too before we go? So this is a very old bracelet. I think I made this, oh my gosh, 20 years ago. And I just want to show you that if you want a hammer, so this is all domed. And I didn't use a dapping block. I just hit it in a circular round until it started doming on its own. So I did put all of the stamping on first, and then I domed it after. But this is my favorite, the pineapple. So that's using a hammer that has like lines, and then a hammer that has like the ability to make that little golf ball divot. So we shall talk more about tools next week, and I hope that we see you then. But definitely stay tuned, because April is going to be fairy themed. Fairy, not fairy like a boat, fairy like Tinkerbell. So we're going to have some projects, some new kits, some new mixes, and I want to have, oh my gosh, so exciting, because who doesn't like a fairy? Okay. See you guys later. Have a nice week. I will be back doing some impromptu lives, because I have some things I want to show you guys, like ranging from mini metals to super cute tiny sterling charms to, oh my gosh, some things that I had saved from Valentine's. So just keep an eye out. And I don't know if you know this, but Facebook changed their algorithm, so you might not be getting notifications as much. So if you can, on our Facebook page, I think under notifications you have to change this to favorites. So you may have to make some changes so that you do get notifications. So when we pop up, you can see what we're doing. If not, join our Ohana or join our Mighty Networks. If you don't know what that is, go to your browser, type in tbg.family, and you are in for a nice surprise. tbg.family. Trying to see if I can find it so you can pop it in. I don't have it in the show. Okay, I don't want to run around. So TBG, which stands for the Bead Gallery.family. Type it in and you can cruise with us some more. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, take care of your health, and take care of the people around you, because man, this year of the dragon has been pretty challenging. So hang in there.